Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. So in this video, we're going to be making an exclusive equipment tier list priority for season 4 using all the heroes currently available, and I've included Velara in here as well with my prediction about it. Now the 5 different tiers we're going to have, the number 1 is going to be the plus 15 priority heroes, and then if you take a hero to plus 15, you should immediately also upgrade that hero to plus 20. It only costs 125 Twilight Essences to do so, and you're going to get 5% bonus stats on that hero. Then we have the plus 10 high category, which means the high priority heroes up to plus 10, which are going to be the major ones you want to upgrade there first. After that list of heroes is complete, then we have the plus 10 low category, which are going to be the heroes which ideally would want plus 10, but they're just not as important. Like maybe they're only for one minor game mode, and so it wouldn't be a major priority. Then you have the plus 5 category, which is going to be heroes that don't need the plus 10 and beyond exclusive equipment, so you can just save your temporals and not upgrade them further. And then we have the plus 0 category, which are basically going to be heroes which are not at all relevant, and so you shouldn't really you don't even have to worry about upgrading the exclusive equipment or really even building the hero out in general. Okay, so we're going to begin with Elsa. So Elsa, as of right now, is good for Ravage Realm. We've seen that. And so if you want to min-max everything, ideally you would want to even plus 10 exclusive upgrade her equipment, but not any further than that. And I would say definitely a low priority because only one game mode, mainly Ravage Realm. In PvP, she's just not that great. There are better options these days. So that is that for Elsa. Antandra is a tank hero which can honestly do her job even at plus 0, so you do not need to upgrade her beyond that. And the heroes in plus 0, they can be upgraded to plus 5 if you have plenty of title essences, because why not? But like if you are limited on title essences, then you don't need to take Antandra up to plus 5. You can prioritize other heroes. Okay, we have Arden. Arden has actually been really good for AFK stages this season, and plus 10 exclusive equipment upgrade for him is a pretty game-changing effect. So I would definitely put him in the plus 10 high category. You don't need to take these heroes to plus 15, but one thing to keep in mind is that plus 15 is a category that just maximizes the stats of a hero, right? So if you're using a hero in PvP, for example, and you want to min-max everything, eventually you would want to take the hero to plus 15. But these heroes should not really be going to plus 15 unless you are a whale, like the heroes we've already listed, and that is the thing. Atalanta, not really good for anything. She is going to be a plus 0 hero. Athalia, come on, where is Athalia going to go? We can do like a Dora the Explorer. Where does Athalia go? Athalia goes in the plus 15 to plus 20 category because she is one of the strongest heroes in PvP right now. If you build her, you would be a fool not to take her to plus 15 and obviously plus 20 as well. You want to maximize her stats. She also has a bit of use in Dream Realm, even in Necrodraken, and maybe in Ravage Realm. There is use of her as well. Very solid hero. If you build her, definitely get her to plus 20. Now, Burial. Burial is a hero that, honestly, I don't think anyone has built Burial. And even if you build him, I just would not recommend using the temporal essences, getting him to plus 20, unless he's like your favorite PvP hero. So I'll put him in the plus 10 category because that is good enough basically for most heroes. And I would put him, honestly, I have to put him in the low priority because he's not even as important as Arden. Arden's going to be much more useful in your account for AFK stages. Burial has very once in a blue moon AFK stage use, and on top of that PvP, but we're not rating PvP heroes high, especially if they're very niche. If they're like the top of the meta of PvP, then definitely. Okay, we have Bonnie. Bonnie is going to be a plus 15, plus 20 hero for sure. You can begin by upgrading her to plus 10. She can begin in the plus 10 category, but eventually when you have the resources, you want to upgrade her all the way to plus 15 and plus 20. The reason for that is she's good for AFK stages. She's good in PvP, top tier in PvP. She's good in PvP, we just said PvP. She's good in Dream Realm as well. So for all of these reasons, you definitely want to fully upgrade her, eventually plus 15, plus 20. Brutus, he doesn't need an upgrade. You can put him at plus 5. It depends where you use him. If you use him in AFK stages, he has a bit of use there. Legend Trials, PvP, but +5 he gets his job done. So we're gonna put him there. Brian. Now Brian is like a, it's really tough with Brian because I'm not a fan of Brian. I don't use him at all. Because I just think Nero is basically a better version of him with also a better charm quality bonus every season, other than 2 seasons ago where Brian had a pretty strong effect. So for all of those reasons, I just would not recommend investing into Brian. Yeah, so I can put him in the +10 low category if you use him anywhere for whatever reason, but I would not really be recommending you upgrading, and that is really the +10 low category heroes which should not be a major focus for your +10. It's only if like you have nothing else left to do that you can upgrade these heroes. And I'm also gonna order it in a line. So we should put Bonnie actually in front of Athalia, because the ones more to the left, those would be a higher priority. So Elsa is a higher priority than Brian, for example. Okay, so we have Callan. Callan is a hero that is used in PvP. He's used AFK stages. He's used in Legend Trial. Now, the thing with him is +5, he can definitely work. However, if you're going to be running him in all of these different game modes, because he has quite a good, decent amount of usage, I would say eventually you want to +10 him, but he's definitely a low priority to +10. He's not a major priority to upgrade to +10. He's probably even below Brian. Okay, next up we have Carolina. So Carolina is, I cannot put her in the high category because even though Carolina has AFK stage usage, she's not anywhere near as used as someone like Arden, Bonnie, the other elements, Iron. So like Carolina is being power crept out of the meta, to be honest. But because of that, and also some occasional Ravage Rum use, I'm gonna put in the +10 low category behind Elsa. Like if you could afford to and you want to build her and use her, +10 is good for her. But like I would not, she's not a high priority to +10. Cassidy's also in the +10 low category. I'm gonna put her in front of Burial. She gets a very important effect when she has her +10 exclusive equipment. It does make a big difference for her. But the problem is, where do you use Cassidy? Like Cassidy has not been meta in Dream Realm for like probably a year, and the game has only been out for like a year and a half. And apart from that, like, it's just very, very occasional use, not needed for anything. Honestly, a hero that you could even just entirely skip, but she gets an important +10 exclusive equipment upgrade, so that's why. But I would not put her in front of Caroline or Elsa, definitely not. Cecia, I would not say past +5, because Cecia is a hero not really used for much. Early game, you can use her to help you clear content, but very soon you're going to have better options, so I would just put her in the +5 around with this Brutus. Cryonaya. So with almost all meta Celestial Hypogean heroes, they are going to be in the +15, +20 category, but we're going to order it in order of priority. Cryonaya is definitely in the +15, +20 priority. If you're going to build her and upgrade her, then you need to max her out, because you're probably building her for PvP or Dream Realm. And in both cases, you want to fully max out her exclusive equipment to give her the maximum stats and all of the effect. But I would put her lower priority than Athalia, because Athalia is the more dominant PvP hero of the two. Okay, we have Cyran. Cyran is going to be tough, because what's going to happen is a lot of high priority +10 heroes are also +15, +20 candidates. So Cyran is really difficult, and it comes down to how much you use him in PvP. But because he's a PvP mainly hero, other than that, AFK stages, a bit of use, no, very rare Dream Realm use. Like Plague Creeper, he was used sometimes, but like very, very occasional. I cannot put him, I'm not going to put him in the +20 category, I'm going to put him in the +10 high category. But of course, if you use him in PvP and he is a dominant PvP hero, then you should +15 him eventually, because that is going to increase his stats and his potential. But he is a +10 high priority hero, but not like, he is not like Bonnie tier of like upgrading to +20. Pretty much one of your first heroes you want to upgrade to +20. So that's why I have to differentiate a bit and put him in the +10 high. Damon is definitely a +10 high category hero, because you want, if you're building Damon, again, he has a bit of Dream Realm use, but not in any top teams, AFK stages, and PvP. And +10, he gets a lot of his major effects, basically, and it will increase his stats. So I'm going to say +10 high, but not as high as Arden, because Arden is a more meta hero for AFK stages. And I even might actually put Arden in front of Cyran, to be honest, because Arden has more meta use in AFK stages, so I would say probably get Arden upgraded before the Cyran. But again, if you're using Cyran and Damon in PvP, you can by all means eventually upgrade them to plus 15 and plus 20, but not immediately. There are other major priorities. Damien is very good for PvP, and plus 10 is a meaningful upgrade for him. So for those reasons, I'm going to put him in the plus 10 high category behind Damon, because Damien is only PvP. But because he's quite meta in PvP and plus 10 is important for him, I have to put him in the high category. Diurnal. Oh, Diurnal. See, this is now where we're getting into really tricky territory, because if you have Diurnal, you would want to plus 20 him. And even Burial, you would technically want to plus 20 him. But where do you use Diurnal right now? Diurnal is not used even in PvP, the top whale team. I have Paragon 4 Diurnal on my account. All of the players in my district, they have Paragon 4 Diurnal on their account. You do not see him at all in Supreme Arena, regular arena. No, because he's been power crept. So nowadays, why you should not be upgrading Diurnal's exclusive equipment. So I would just try to make him, like, you know, get his job done with the least investment possible, which would just be plus 10 low priority. I just cannot recommend him, because yes, you would want to plus 20 him if you're using him, but he's just not good. So he's not a recommended hero. But now on the other hand, we have Dunlinger. Dunlinger, who is probably... So, Dunlinger is just getting stronger and stronger as more overpowered heroes are coming in. Cryonaya, Dunlinger shuts you down with Spellbind. Now, Velara will be coming with the HP recovery. What? He gets shut down by Curelog Dunlinger. Ludovic, Stallcomps, they get shut down by Curelog Dunlinger. Dunlinger is, like, as more heroes come in the game and there's more power creep, Dunlinger is the exceptional hero that is only going to get stronger over time, because he's a hard counter to all, like, a lot of different meta archetypes. So for those reasons, and his plus 15 upgrade is going to be a meaningful boost in terms of like giving the haste to the ally in the back, and also it increases his own tanky stats to survive better. So if you're going to build Dunlinger, I have to put him in the plus 15, plus 20 category. If you're going to build him, he is here, because he is a meta PvP hero. If you have him, you'll want to be running him on your Supreme Arena defenses. I personally do not run him on any of my lineups that I show you guys every week, because I know the majority of players do not have Dunlinger. And like, if I made a defense using Dunlinger, then like maybe only 5 to 10% of my viewers can actually use it. So I try to stay away from that. But I think in the future, I will show some more, like, you know, heavy pay to win teams with Dunlinger, because Dunlinger is very strong. And you see him in the top tiers of like whale account Supreme Arena. You just see him all the time. At least one of the teams. Okay, Iron. Iron is a plus 10 high category, but not above plus 10. But of course, he is the highest of plus 10, because it is going to double the duration of his immobilization with his ultimate from 3 seconds to 6 seconds. That is a big boost in terms of his effectiveness. So he's even more important to upgrade than Arden as well. Okay, Twins, yeah, no doubt about it. Plus 15, plus 20 candidate. Now, I'm gonna put them... I'll put them before the Bonnie. Look, the thing with the Twins is they're very unique, because plus 10 upgrade of the Twins is usable, it's runnable. You can use a plus 10 exclusive equipment of the Twins. But if you want the full energy refund from the ultimate casting of your heroes, you need to get the Twins at plus 15. And the thing is, all the top comms, they rely on basically plus 15 Twins for the timing of everything. Also, it helps you, you know, like the Shemira comms we have now, giving energy refund to Shemira when she casts her ultimate. That is a big, meaningful damage boost to her. So for all of these reasons, Twins have to be one of the #1 heroes you take to plus 15 exclusive equipment, but they could work at plus 10 for some time, but they should be one of the first ones you take to plus 15 as well. Okay, Pharamore. Pharamore is a hero that plus 10 is pretty important. He's meta in AFK stages, Legend Trials, that's basically it, not in PvP. In Dream Realm, he's just not seeing much use now, but maybe in Endless, he's going to have more Dream Realm usage. Either way, plus 10 high priority for sure, but I would put him around Cyran level, because the thing about Pharamore, and you could actually just say leave him at plus 5. You could leave Pharamore at plus 5 because he still has his major, basically, damage boost. But if you get him to plus 10, each time he gets a kill, then he's going to enlarge the radius of his magical circle. And that is important because that's really good for AFK stages and also Relentless Rumble, things like that. But I guess when you think about it, for other game modes, it doesn't just really have any impact at all. So you could leave Pharamore at plus 5, but I'm still going to say just get him to plus 10. It also increases his stats, which will increase his damage slightly. So I would say say probably even before Damon, I would say Pheromore 2 plus 10. But you can run him at plus 5 for a while, just like with the other heroes here. Okay, Faye. Faye is not an important hero, just Legend Trials. You can leave her at plus 0. Kulu is, yeah, I mean, if you're going to build Kulu, you take her all the way. You take her all the way to plus 15, plus 20 exclusive equipment. And I would say even before Dunlinger, if you're going to build her. Kulu is very strong in Supreme Arena. Like all of the meta Supreme Arena defenses, one of them is running Kulu, one of them is running Dunlinger, almost always one of them is running, well, one of them is always running Athalia, and almost always one of them is always running Cryonaya. So basically, these 4 heroes right here, they're the top meta of PvP right now. Kulu also has a bit of AFK stage usage. You don't need to necessarily upgrade her exclusive equipment for the AFK stage usage, because in fact, she can even work at 1 copy there. But for PvP, you need to maximize her. Okay, Merrily. So Merrily is for Ravage Realm, and plus 10 is a meaningful skill upgrade for her. So for those reasons, I'm going to put her behind Elsa in the Ravage Realm sort of tier. Plus 10 low priority. Not major priority, but eventually if you have all of these other heroes basically sorted, then you will want to be upgrading Elsa and Merrily as well. So Floribel has some use in Ravage Realm, that is for sure. And for that reason, but her damage output herself was not anything amazing. It wasn't anything through the roof, and it was not as high damage contributor as Merrily and Elsa. So definitely not up to their level. The question is, would I put her around Carolina or around Cassidy? I think somewhere around here is where I would put the Floribel. Probably after Carolina. And Floribel can work a plus 5 exclusive equipment as well. But like, if you want to min-max, then yeah, eventually, technically, but like Ravage Realm is gonna be, even more powerful this season, because we have Indris, we have Velara. Velara definitely is gonna see usage. So like Floribel might be completely crept out of Ravage Realm, but for right now, I would put in the plus 10 for right now, but low, definitely low priority, not a major priority at all. Temesia, she can work at plus 5, honestly. Like, a lot of people use Temesia at plus 5, and anyway, these days, Temesia is not really used for anything, unfortunately. Gerda can work at plus 5 as well, so I would just recommend leaving her at plus 5, unless you're trying to upgrade, unless you're trying to use her in PvP or something, then of course you can upgrade her past that, but for the majority of players, plus 5, and the reason I say plus 5 and not plus 0 is that she's used a decent amount in Legend Trials, Jura Trials, so yeah, I would probably recommend upgrading her to plus 5. Okay, now Granny. Granny is not a good hero. Not good for anything. Even Legend Trials, she's not good. So definitely a plus 0 hero. Not a hero you want to upgrade. Harak. So Harak is one of the top priorities for plus 20 exclusive equipment upgrade. I'm going to put him after the twins, because his damage is going to be completely related to his stats in Dream Realm. And he still is one of the top damage dealers for Endless Stage of Dream Realm bosses, and I don't think Velara is going to be out-damaging Harak, so Harak is probably still going to remain for another season at least. And Harak, yeah, his stats are going to matter. For PvP, the plus 15 upgrade will give him like bonus health when he gets a kill. That is good for snowballing in PvP, but Harak I don't see as a major PvP hero. He is mainly a Dream Realm hero right now that you can also use in PvP, but he's not a focused PvP hero. Either way, major priority. Haywin, oh, Haywin is not good. I would say, so eventually plus 10 does give her a meaningful skill upgrade. However, she's not top tier PvP right now. In fact, I just don't use her at all. So I'm going to have to put her around this Diurnal Burial tier. Like, eventually, yeah, you can plus 10 her, but she's just not going to do much for you unless she has a really powerful charm bonus. Like, in the previous season, she had a good charm quality bonus. She was useful in PvP. But this season, her charm quality bonus is not useful, and so she's also not useful. So like heroes like that, investing into them is very risky. Okay, Hodgkin. Where would you use Hodgkin? Not very much, honestly. Even in PvP, kind of lackluster. But that being said, like Legend Trials, and he has a Supreme Plus skill upgrade. I'm gonna put him in the plus 10 low priority. Oh, he was also used for Ravage Realm. Okay, that is very true. So we have to put him actually a bit higher on the tier, like around Carolina tier and Floribel, because he was using Ravage Realm best team, but like very close, right? So like the problem is heroes which are like the eighth best option for Ravage Realm, those are the ones most likely to be power crept when another hero comes out to be added into that Ravage Realm, and then you won't be using him anymore. But for right now, he was Still good. Okay, Hugin. So Hugin is a good hero for PvP. He's good for Dream Realm in some comps, and also he's good for AFK stage. He's an overall solid hero, and he always gets a good charm quality bonus because the developers love him and his class of family, like Nero and him and Rainier. So we're gonna put him in the +10. I think it does give like bonus unaffected when he will shield and things like that, and that can also be sometimes relevant. So I would say Hugin probably maybe even more important than Damien around this tier. Okay, Igor. So Igor, if you use him in PvP, yes, +10 is important, and he is actually pretty relevant in PvP for stall comps, budget type teams. So for those reasons, I will put him in the +10, low priority, not high priority. I can't afford to put Igor up there because it is all about if you use him, right? If you, and like, I think for the majority of players, you're going to see much more usage if you upgrade your Hugin, Damien, rather than Igor. But if you're using Igor, you can move him up to the +10 high, but if I'm going to leave him in the +10 low priority, and he doesn't help in Ravage Realm or anything like that. He is just like a PvP hero that will benefit from +10. Okay, so we have Indris. Indris has a meaningful upgrade at +10. As of right now, nothing is proven with Indris for Ravage Realm or anything, but I'm predicting he's probably going to be good for Ravage Realm. So I'm actually going to put him in front of even Carolina. I'm going to put him around here because this is a prediction and it may be a bold prediction. But I have a strong feeling that if you build Indris, I definitely think he's going to have usage in Ravage Realm. I can't see how he could not. If he cannot have usage in Ravage Realm, that's just really sad. And then, yeah, so if you want to, you can just wait until the end of season Ravage Realm before you decide to go in on Indris or upgrade him at all. But yeah, I would say he was around here for right now. Khafra, come on. Like, Khafra, if you want to build him in PvP, yeah, you can, but like that is totally up to you. If you want to build him, you can take him to whatever exclusive equipment you want, but for the vast majority of players, I would not recommend upgrading him at all. Okay, Coco. Coco is a +10 hero because it will give you like dispelling of debuffs, it increases their tankiness. However, that being said, I don't think she's actually a +10 high priority. Like, I personally, if I had to make a decision, would I want Hugin +10 more? Yeah. Would I want Damien +10 more? Yeah. Coco, I can get her job done at +5, honestly. But I would say eventually you do want a +10 upgrade her. And so for all those reasons, I'm going to put her around this Igor level in +10 low priority, not a high priority. Okay, Corrin. Corrin gets his job done totally at +5. Even if you're using him in Ravage Realm, which he was being used, +5 is when he unlocks his basically true damage boost. After that, +10 doesn't actually increase the cap of the damage that he deals, and so it doesn't actually increase his damage other than just the stats you're giving him. So he doesn't need to be a beyond +5, the Corrin. Merely does want +10 because it's a meaningful skill upgrade to boost your damage, but for Corrin, +5 is that meaningful upgrade. Beyond that is only for his stats, because like we said, it doesn't increase the cap of his damage even when he gets his skill upgrades. Yeah, okay. So Kruger again, +5, totally fine at +5. You don't need to take him beyond this. He is good for boss content, some boss content, and yeah, so like Whales eventually can even +10 him just for the stats, but he doesn't need it, right? He's totally fine at +5. Yeah, and he's not a PvP hero. Kruger's not a PvP hero, so like, Corrin and Kruger, they're not PvP heroes, so just leave them at +5. You don't need those bonus stats on them. It doesn't really do anything. Okay, Lenya. Lenya is an interesting case. So the thing is, I cannot put Lenya in the +15 because it's just for PvP. And I'm not putting like purely PvP heroes in +15 because I don't think they belong there. Like Cyran as well. We haven't put him in +15. But I can put Lenya in the +10 high. Even though Lenya is only good for Ravage Realm, no Dream Realm usage, no AFK stage usage, but she's also very good in PvP. So for both of those reasons, and she's dominant in Ravage Realm, like one of the key damage dealers. So I'm going to put her in +10 high priority. And I think I will put her, maybe even in front of Theramore, around about here. I think this is where the Lenya is going to belong. Okay, Lily May. So Lily May, now this is where it becomes really difficult, right? Lily May is very strong in PvP. She's very strong in PvP. And for that reason, I'm very tempted to just say +15, +20. Because we have like the other Celestial Hypogeans all the way in +15, +20. But at the same time, Lily May is not and she's also good for Ravage Realm, but she's not used for Dream Realm. She's not really used for AFK stages. It's definitely plus 10 high or plus 15. It depends how much you use her in PvP. But because we're doing this trend of like the PvP heroes, Cyran, Lenya, we're leaving them in plus 10 high. I'm going to leave Lily May in plus 10 high as well. And I'm going to put her even again behind Arden. And the reason is because, like I said, Arden, Iron, if you get these at plus 10, it's going to help your AFK stages a lot. Okay, these other heroes here, they're mainly going to help your PvP. And I think AFK stages is more important first before you start focusing your PvP. Luca, I mean, Luca can work at plus 0, right? So I would just say Luca at plus 0. Lorson. Lorson's actually interesting. He has AFK stage usage. He has Legend Trial usage. Apart from that, he can be good in PvP, but he's not a plus 10 high priority. Definitely not high priority. And even he's definitely in low priority. But the question is, where am I going to put him? I'm going to put him around about this Florabelle level, mainly for AFK stages, because the thing with Lorson, he can work like even at before you even get him to Mythic Plus. So even before he unlocks his exclusive equipment, just for his chain link, he can work in AFK stages, and there's so many replays using that. And so you don't need him plus 10, but I would say plus 10 low priority if I had to give a rating to him. Okay, Lucius, he can work at plus 0, so I would recommend plus 0. Ludovic. So Ludovic is going to be another plus 15, plus 20 candidate, or basically hero, because his damage in Endless Dream Realm with the Mythic Plus Charms is still unmatched, and he will be in meta teams. Also for PvP, he is very, very strong with that burst healing. Ravage Realm, he always has usage. Yeah, okay, so for those reasons, I'm going to put him even ahead of Athalia because he has more Dream Realm usage, like Bonnie, Ludovic, Harak, the twins. These are going to be the Dream Realm heroes you want to upgrade to plus 15 and plus 20 pretty much ASAP. Or yeah, as soon as you can. Okay, so we have Lumont. He can work at plus 0. You do not need him necessarily above that, but he does have a good amount of Legend Trial usage, so I will say plus 5 along with like Gerda and Brutus. Lucy can work even at plus 0, but Lucy has good AFK stage usage. Yeah, she does have good AFK stage usage, so I would say eventually you would want to plus 10 her, but not a high priority, like a low priority plus 10. I would put her around about this Florabelle level. She's totally fine at plus 5 and even plus 0 Lucy basically, but eventually if you want to maximize her, you can take her to plus 10. That can be fine. Okay, so Leica is not used anywhere. Even in Ravage Realm in the previous season, she was not used, and this season we're getting a lot of new wilder heroes, so like I think Leica is kind of power crap. Leica was good as a buffer for Diurnal, but now Diurnal is bad. So like Leica, I would just say, I don't know, if you build her, I would say plus 5, but that's basically it. I would not recommend upgrading Leica beyond that. Mikola. So Mikola has a pretty good plus 10 ability specifically. I think it increases the vitality of allies when she heals them. I believe that is what it is. Either way, Mikola is a key hero from multiple Dream Realm bosses, so she is going to be a plus 10 high priority hero. The question is, where am I going to put her? I think I'm going to put her around here with Damon and Faramore. Plus 10 high priority hero for sure. Okay, Muriel. Muriel is a hero that can work even at plus 5, but I think eventually plus 10. She was decent in Ravage Realm, but apart from that, not really any usage. So, but she does have her Supreme Plus skill upgrade. I would say eventually plus 10, but like kind of on the lower side of the priority. I would say right maybe at the end of the plus 10. Not a major priority to upgrade, but eventually if you can afford it, you should probably get it done. Okay, Nara. So Nara is a hero for AFK stages. She's for PvP. Honestly, she works even at 1 copy, right? You don't even need to upgrade her exclusive equipment at all. But if you are thinking about using her in PvP or different game modes or even maximizing her potential, I would say a probably plus 10 low again. Eventually you would want a plus 10er. And that's basically the thing. You're going to notice a lot of heroes are going to end up in plus 10 low because a lot of heroes do eventually want to have their plus 10 exclusive equipment upgrade. But these are all basically luxury heroes. You do not need to upgrade any of these heroes to plus 10, really. You can leave them all at plus 5. The plus 10 high and the plus 15, these are the heroes you need to be focusing, and eventually every account should have these Heroes at plus 10, in my opinion at least. Okay, we have Natsu. So Natsu is a hero for AFK stages, but that is basically it. AFK stages in PvP, and so that is not enough usage to actually say plus 10 high priority, but he's definitely plus 10 low priority. And I would say I would put him around, definitely around, I'll just put him with Lucy. I'll just put him with Lucy, but because he's a damage dealer, he kind of needs a plus 10 more than Lucy needs it. So maybe we can put him around Carolina level, yeah. Okay guys, so not much more to go. We have Niru. Niru is a important hero and good for PvP, good for, yeah, mainly PvP is his usage. That is it. No, nothing else. And good for Ravage Run. It is a good charm quality bonus. So you can totally get his job done at plus 5, but I would say plus 10 because he is a strong PvP hero. And I am kind of putting these strong PvP heroes in the plus 10 category just to increase their stats and maximize their potential. So I'm going to put Nero here, who I consider to be more powerful of a PvP hero than the other ones who are after him. Okay, so we have Odie, who might be a bit of a controversial one, but just like with Lily May and Odie, they were once the king and queen of AFK Journey. They are still very good, but they are no longer the plus 15, plus 20 necessary heroes. They can get their job done at plus 10, and you can save your resources for the more important heroes to upgrade. So I'm definitely going to put Odie in plus 10 high priority. There's no question about that. And he's actually going to be fairly high here. I think I might even put him in front of Cyran, because you can use Odie in different areas. And in fact, in some Dream Realm, actually, yeah, in some Dream Realm teams like Thalassa, Odie is in the overall top team of Thalassa. But just for that reason alone, do I put him in front of Iron? I could put him in front of Iron, but I think, you know what, I'm just going to put him in front of Arda. I still think Iron is really important to upgrade to plus 10 for like that mobilization duration, but yeah, somewhere around here. Okay, Parissa. Parissa was not using Ravage Rum. She's not, some AFK stages very rarely. Parissa is fine at plus 5. Honestly, Parissa is fine at plus 5, but if you want to maximize her, but why would you want to maximize her? But the thing is, I've kind of made weird decisions in the tier list because some of these heroes here, like Brian, Callan, Muriel, they're very, very situational. They're not really good or needed for that much. So like having them in the plus 10 low tier makes me like want to put every hero into the plus 10 low tier. I think I need to make a bit of a rearrangement. I think I'm going to move Brian down. Nara, it just depends. Do you use her in PvP? I think I'm going to move Nara down as well. And I'm going to put Parissa in the plus 5 tier. I don't know. Basically, it's a very blurred, it's kind of the end of the plus 10 low tier and then the plus 5 tier. They're all kind of around about the same priorities, right? So it's difficult of positioning which one's in the plus 10 low, which one in the plus 5. There's no like exact cutoff that I can define for these heroes, so it's kind of a bit of subjectiveness about this, but yeah. Okay, so next up, Phraesto. Phraesto definitely plus 15, plus 20, and he's even more important than Harak because he's one of the key Dream Realm damage dealers. And actually I would probably put him even before the twins, because all the stats you give to Phraesto, they're going to convert into a higher score in Endless Dream Realm, where Phraesto is the king of damage dealers there. So yeah, plus 15, plus 20, major priority for the Phraesto. Okay, so we have Rainier. Rainier is a bit of a tough one. His plus 10 is going to give damage reduction to an ally that he position swaps. And that, usually for Dream Realm, that's not needed, but occasionally it can be useful. So for those reasons, I think I have to actually put him at the end of the plus 10 high category. We're going to put him in the plus 10 high, around about the end, maybe around like the Hugin level. Yeah, we can put him around the Hugin level. I think that is fitting for Rainier. Okay, so we have Reese. Reese is not an important hero. Yeah, not an important hero. But I guess if you need to, you can leave him at plus 5. That would be fine. And then we have Rowan. So Rowan is a hero that, if you use him in PvP, plus 10 can be nice. So it's kind of like that situational PvP hero, but he's pretty good in PvP. So I'm going to put him in the plus 10 low category over here, but he doesn't need the plus 10. Yeah, that is basically it. Okay, so Salazar. Salazar is not really used at all. I would say just plus 5 if you wanted to, or actually we can just put him in the plus 0. So Trana is for PvP. if you use her in PvP, then she's about the Igor level, right? And people do use her in PvP. So we can put Satrana in the plus 10 low category. I think I wanna move Muriel down. I wanna move Muriel down to the plus 5 category. And Callan, I think Callan is fine in the plus 10 category. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with this list. Yeah, this is looking better. This is looking better. Okay, Scarlita. I'm just going to say plus 10 low. Like, if you want to use her, you can get her plus 10, but I would not upgrade her beyond that. And honestly, again, she's just not a meta hero for PvP. Other than that specific Soren Supreme Arena map, which had that massive HP drain effect. But, like, we're not going to probably have that for the rest of the season, so it's not really important. Obviously not important to build Scarlet just for that. We have Shemira. Shemira is the number one. Shemira is the number one hero for plus 15, plus 20. The hardest hitting damage deal for pre-endless and even endless Dream Realm bosses. Shemira is the hero everyone should take to plus 10 probably first on your account. Maybe. And then also your first plus 15 and plus 20 should be Shemira. No doubt about that. Okay, Smokey. Smokey is a tough one. Smokey is a very, very tough one because he will benefit from plus 15. That will increase his stats. That can help you in the Dream Realm. However, plus 10 is also more than enough. Generally speaking, plus 10 for Smokey is more than enough. So I would say, honestly speaking, I think plus 10 is a really good spot for Smokey. So I would say definitely is a high priority for plus 10. One of the higher priorities, actually, I think around about Cyran level, maybe even in front of Cyran, because it helps you in AFK stages, it helps you in Dream Realm, and yeah, so very, very important hero. Shakir. Shakir is one of the most important plus 10 upgrades. I would say probably after Iron. Shakir is really important, but the thing is, Shakir comps for Dream Realm. Now that we have Nocturne Judicated, they're right from day one, like, of the new season, which is different. But generally speaking, Shakir only comes online in endless bosses, and so, like, you have time to build him up. But he's one of the top 2 heroes to upgrade to plus 10, like Iron, him, and Shemira. These are basically the top 3 heroes to upgrade to plus 10 exclusive equipment first. Sinbad. So I used to put Sinbad in plus 15, but I don't put Sinbad in plus 15 anymore. I would say plus 10 high priority would be the Sinbad, and I would say, actually he's around about the Smokey level. Maybe even higher than that. Maybe actually he might be over the Odie level because Sinbad is very good for Dream Realm. However, I don't know. I think I'm going to put him behind Odie. All of these heroes, like these first 6, right? Iron, Shakir, Odie, Sinbad, Arden, Smokey, everyone should get to plus 10 and they're all really important. But like in terms of the ordering, that's kind of bit up for debate. Okay, Sonya. So Sonya is good for the so at plus 10 she gives her a damage reduction when she casts her ultimate. That is useful for Dream Realm and also it increases her stats, and she's pretty good in Dream Realm. This season she hasn't been that used so far, but I still believe in Sonya. I still think she's an important hero to upgrade, and I would say in front of Damon, yeah. Plus 10 high priority. Soren, I don't know. If you use him, then yeah, but I don't really use him. So I would say the plus 0. He doesn't need to be upgraded. Set, for Relentless Rumble and things like that. And I guess, is he? I don't think he's used that much in Legend Trials. So I would say plus 5. Yeah, Seth plus 5, but I wouldn't really recommend him beyond that unless you use him in PvP a lot, and then you can upgrade him. Like, you can put him to the plus 10 low or something. Okay, Tasi. Tasi is gonna be... The thing is, okay, because we're putting the PvP heroes in plus 10 high priority, I'm also going to put Tasi here. Eventually, so just something to keep in mind. The PvP heroes here, Cyran, Lily May, Tasi, even Lenya if you're using her, these eventually want to be upgraded to plus 15. But they're not, it's not majorly important to upgrade them. The other heroes in the plus 15, plus 20 category, these are like the ones that when you have the ability to do so, they should definitely be immediately taken to plus 20. But like, Tasi is around this Lily May tier. Tasi is good for AFK stages as well, but Tasi does all of her job at plus 10. Plus 15 is just basically to min-max her for PvP. So Cyran, Tasi, Lily May, they're all kind of like that min-maxing for PvP, and so eventually plus 20 is good for them, but not, but I would still leave them in the plus 10 high priority. So Valen, plus 0, not good. Viperion, plus 5. Even though he's not really used for anything anymore. Vala will be, she's a PvP hero, but not very good. She's around this Igor Satrana level. I will put her around here in the plus 10 low category behind Lorson. Sylvina, plus 10 low category PvP, very niche hero. Actually, no. You know what? Sylvina actually has a lot of offense use in PvP. For me, maybe Vala can do the same. But like I have to put in the plus 10 low because the thing about Sylvina is that it's a very niche usage, right? So it's kind of like Igor, Satrana, Sylvina, that if you're using these heroes, upgrading the plus 10 will be important. But if you're not using them, people do not need to invest it all into them. The thing is, these plus 10 high, every single player should have all of these heroes upgraded to plus 10. So that's basically what I'm saying. The plus 10 low is based on, do you use them a lot? Then yeah, plus 10 is good for them. Or have you completed all of these? Then you can move on to these. Velika is fine at plus 5. She doesn't need to go beyond that. I would not recommend it. Velara is, so this is a prediction, right? However, I really suspect that she's going to have Dream Realm meta usage and at least a couple of Dream Realm bosses due to the massive stat steal. And her stat steal is based on her own stats. And that means you want to max out her stats. So, if she does end up being really meta in multiple bosses, plus 20 even will be the place for her. But at the very least, I would say plus 10. So I'm going to put her around here with Damon. I think that Velara is going to see Dream Realm meta usage in a couple of top Dream Realm boss teams. And for that reason, she will definitely be a plus 10 high hero if that is the case. If that is the case that she is done. Actually, I should put her in front of Damon, actually. I should put her around here, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to put it here. But this Velara's placement is subject to change based on how good she is in Dream Realm. If she's completely not useful in any top team, she will not even be plus 10 high. But she would probably be at least plus 10 low, because for Ravage Realm, there's no question she's going to be good there. But if she is good and very good and doing better than I expected for Dream Realm, she'll even be a plus 20 hero that you'll want to take. Okay, Thorin. Thorin is totally fine at plus 5. He does all of his job for PvP at plus 5. Walker is going to be... okay, so Walker is interesting. This season he's very strong from the faction talent tiles, but that's not enough of a reason to like plus 10 him or anything like that. I would say get his job done at plus 5, but he is important to plus 5 this season specifically. You don't need to over-invest resources into Walker, because next season he's probably going to be not useful anymore. Okay, so we have 2 heroes left. We have Taylene. So Taylene, of course, if you're going to build her, she's still meta in PvP. Even though she's not useful in Dream Realm anymore, she deserves a plus 20 spot on the tier list. And in fact, because she's quite good in PvP, I actually like her a lot in PvP, and a lot of people have her. I'm going to put it even in front of Cryonite. She's a major hero that you want to upgrade to plus 15 and plus 20 to increase her stats for PvP and for other various usage. So one thing you might be a bit confused about, and even I'm a bit confused about it to an extent, is that, okay, well, why are you putting PvP Celestial Hypogean heroes in plus 20, but the PvP main faction heroes in plus 10, even though sometimes these main faction heroes can be better than the Celestial Hypogean heroes? The kind of reason I'm doing it is that if you invest enough to get the Celestial Hypogean up to Supreme Plus, because that's the only way you can upgrade it to plus 15, then you should also couple it with a plus 15 to plus 20 upgrade. If you're going to go all in on a Celestial Hypogean hero, all the way to Supreme Plus, they should definitely be taken to plus 20. And so, but like these other main faction heroes, they're not as much of an investment. Like it could be earlier mid-game, and then just rushing them to plus 10 is enough, right? Okay, finally, Almas plus 5, more than enough, does not need to go beyond plus 5. Okay guys, so we are finally done with the exclusive equipment priority tier list, and even though this took a long time, I am very happy with the results, the actual, what we're seeing right here. I think that this is pretty accurate. You guys can let me know your own opinions down in the comment section below, and I also am happy that we were able to explain when we were placing all of the heroes. We took a bit of time to explain all of their positioning, because that is always important when you're making an investment into a hero with exclusive equipment, which is one of the most limited resources in AFK Journey. You should really be able to understand why are these heroes important to upgrade or not. So basically, this is what you can follow. The way you want to do it is your plus 10 high priority heroes. Those should be rushed to plus 10, especially the like first 5 heroes here. Iron, Shakir, Odie, Sinbad, Arden. all very important to get to plus 10 early on in your account. The Shemira is also very important to get to plus 10 immediately on your account, and she's going to be your first plus 15 or plus 20 upgraded hero because of how strong she is in Dream Realm, AFK stages, PvP, everywhere. When you get the Phraesto twins fully leveled up to Supreme Plus, then you should definitely be upgrading them to plus 15, plus 20 exclusive equipment as well. And if you chose to upgrade Harak, build Harak, definitely he needs a plus 20 upgrade as well. Bonnie and Ludovic are going to be the two other major main faction heroes you want to upgrade to plus 20 after Shemira. These three basically are going to be the three main faction heroes everyone should be upgrading to plus 20 first. When these three are done, which are Shemira, Bonnie, Ludovic, and then your Celestial Hypogeans that you've built, then you can begin looking at the plus 10 high priority heroes which are PvP related, specifically Cyran, Tasi, Lily May, even Lenya if you use her. These are heroes you're going to be your next candidates for plus 15 and plus 20 upgrades because these are very strong in PvP. If you upgrade them to plus 20, it will min-max them and allow them to do better in PvP. So very important to upgrade them. Sinbad, you can consider Sinbad to plus 15. He gets a meaningful skill upgrade, but honestly, Sinbad is not like a widespread damage dealer for Dream Realm now that Shemira is here. Like Sinbad is only in 1, maybe 2 of Dream Realm bosses. So you do not need to get him to plus 15 just for that kind of more niche usage in Dream Realm. So anyway guys, I hope this was helpful. Good luck following this. If you have any other opinions, feel free to share them in the comment section down below. But thank you guys for watching. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. Also feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. And finally, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. There's a link to that in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me at no extra cost to you. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.